everyone. I'm Vic.
I'm Nick.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Andrew.
And we're Envy Board Gaming. And today we're going to go through our GenCon 2023 experiences. So we all had a bit of different schedules, different days, different things we were doing each day. So we're going to share what we were up to.
Yep. Yeah. And we're also going to be doing a giveaway that we will talk about later on in the video. So keep an eye out for that. We're going to be giving away 3 games. So make sure you are subscribed and comment if you want to be a part of that giveaway.
All right, so day one, I got started, I guess, the earliest because, well, I had 1 hour sleep. I couldn't sleep at all, and we had to get there because of a little mishap with our badges. So Vic got her badge delivered, and all my tickets and her tickets, but not my badge. So I had to go to will call, and I heard there was like horror stories about getting to will call. It's gonna take hours. It was very quick, but I did get there at 7, which is 3 hours before the hall actually opens.
Yeah, we had to leave early because of the time zone difference too.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to factor in the hour time change.
Right, so we had to kill some time there.
Yeah.
I had to walk the halls for a little bit, then Vic parked the car because I wanted to hurry up and get to will call. She didn't have to go.
Yeah.
So our drive is about 2.5 hours, similar to yours, to Indianapolis. We're over near Chicago area. And we did that. I walked, so that demo halls are open before the actual exhibit hall is open, so you can walk around there, get a feel for it. It almost felt like I wasn't supposed to be there, but because you're walking the hall before it felt like it was supposed to be open. But I did that, and we ended up going to Panera. Met you there at Panera as well, just to get something in our bellies. So once we're done eating, we go to CGE was open, so we could get the Lost Ruins of Arnak expansion, and I got the Zulkin expansion.
Yep.
There was also a demo hall open. They called it, what was that, First Exposure?
Yeah.
Double exposure or something like that.
The first exposure was the entrepreneurial prototype area, right?
Yeah, the lot of prototypes there. We played, we got to look at Kelp. The names are going to be rough.
Kelp, War of Woods,
That
and
was a
Gems
Stonemaier.
of Iridescia.
Yes, those were the 3 that stuck out to us. Gems of Iridescia, and we have some video of that I'm rolling right now.
Yeah, so essentially you're revealing tiles to mine gems, which you collect to craft items, and each player gets to play as a different faction. As you reveal those gems, you collect victory points, but you also gain experience, which allows you to unlock different abilities such as extra dice, pickaxes, which you spend for mining, and you can also buy items, collect treasure cards as well. And that's the brief overview.
Cool. And you craft things I see over there.
Yeah, and there's also, if you're able to do sets, there's set bonuses as well.
Yeah.
Grab some stickers if you want.
Yeah.
And there's a QR code on the back that you can follow the game.
Awesome.
It's on BGG, it's on BackerKit. Hoping to launch the Kickstarter this fall.
Okay.
Yeah, right now it's just a BackerKit to
Kelp was the only one I had heard of the group, but it looks really good.
And they had another game there too. I thought it was called Sky City, and I had it completely wrong.
The one that was right next to him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, what's this? And they're like, oh, we're playtesting this one as well.
That one was an early one.
Right, yeah.
They
It's not called Sky City, it was something else.
Yeah. So then exhibit hall opens, 10 o'clock.
Which was crazy. There's no real order in how you can enter the exhibit hall. You'll hear about Lorcana from other people. We weren't lined up for Lorcana, so we're not going to really talk to that. We didn't see it. We saw the line, didn't know if that was for the exhibit hall, but the exhibit hall doesn't really have one. Everyone kind of just mobs the outside doors for the opportunity to get in, and then it's just sort of a mass movement of people. So just want to quickly say that.
And we all had, Andrew had something he was targeting right away with Arcane Wonders. He's going to talk about, the format we're going to do is Sam's going to talk about, actually Sam wasn't there for that day, so she's going to talk about things outside of GenCon that she did. And Andrew's going to talk about things that are basically happening simultaneous with what I'm saying.
Right.
So I know that Andrew went to Arcane Wonders first. We went in an area that was pretty close to like the 300s, it felt like. So we went to like Flat Out Games, things over there.
Yeah.
I just picked up a few small things. I didn't have anything I was targeting, like I gotta get there right now. I thought about it, but when I saw my position of where I was so far away from where I wanted to be that I had to just go left. So we got some expansions. The first 4 things we bought at GenCon were expansions. I already mentioned Lost Ruins.
Yeah.
I mentioned Zulkin. And now we get Santa Monica expansion for that, and Icky expansion for that. and then Vic picked up the next bunch. What'd you pick up? That's all that stuff.
Yeah, so I had some Kickstarter pre-order, which I think in the future I would maybe go the route of trying to look into games to pre-order them and then go pick them up. So I found this opportunity for $45. You could just go get the Kickstarter combo of Mission to Planet Hex with the expansion that they just kickstarted. So I got that. I got both games, and then we went over and picked up some games from
Good Games
Publishing, and they're looking for some reviews on them. So those are review copies of Bark Avenue, Trick Draw, Too Many Cooks, and Land vs. Sea, and Mercurial.
Yes.
So we got a big bag of games to take with us back to the car, and it was nice to have Spot Hero and book parking in advance, because we got this awesome parking spot right across from the convention center that you could go and just make drop-offs. So that was good. In the car and hide them though.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think we mentioned that we were in Airbnb.
Yeah.
Right.
We weren't in downtown Indy. We were half an hour north in Carmel.
Yes. Yeah. And I think Sam's going to hit on that quite a bit, because that's where she spent a lot of time, and outside it in Carmel, that area. I think what we'll do here, because that actually the next thing we did with Andrew, that was to play test Bamboo.
Yeah.
Is maybe we can talk about what you did to start your day one, and talk about Sam after that, what she did to start her day one.
Yeah, so obviously when I first got there, I just kind of looked for you guys. I looked around a little bit, and I was like, oh, I'll go to Panera, which we already talked about. We got the Lost Ruins expansion. I went straight for World Wonders when the exhibit hall did open, which they had some technical difficulty right at the beginning, but they got it fixed pretty quick. I mean, it's GenCon, things are going to happen, you know, because they only had 500 copies a day, or not a day, total.
Wow.
And so some people, they had like certain number of copies each day for a specific game. They were just, hey, we have 500 for the whole show. Once they're gone, they're gone. I was like 70th in line. I didn't have to run to get it, so that's good. I know some people are running like this and stuff. But it was funny because some people would try to run up and grab the game and then get in line. And so they came back and they took the games away. They're like, you can get them when you get up to the front, which was nice because some people were just like standing around.
Right.
And they limited it to one copy because that was a hot game. I think they sold out the first day. I did end up going around and I picked up a copy of Flamecraft. That was one that I wasn't like necessarily like gonna hunt down, but I was like, oh, it's here. I've heard great things. I should get it, give it a try. I think Samantha would really like it. So picked up Flamecraft. Also, while I was at Arcane Wonders, I picked up the expansion to Furnace, and I picked up. I accidentally made a double purchase. Jason Levine talked me into it. He's like, "Oh, do you have this expansion for Picture Perfect?" And I was like, "I think I do." And I checked my, the app to check my collection, and I must not have put it in. It was the Sherlock Holmes expansion. So I was like, sure, just give it here, I'll buy it. And then I got home and I was like,
I even mentioned that. I'm like, don't we have that one? You're like, I don't know.
It was like, Jason Levine got me.
Yeah.
Quite the salesman.
Right, yeah, but it's not a big deal. So, I mean, yeah, it was nice to be able to get in there and get a couple expansions. I'm excited to give the Furnace expansion a try. But yeah, then I met up with you guys. That was the very first play I had was Bamboo.
So now we're all the way to noon. So Sam, what were you doing to start your day?
All right, so in the morning, I dropped Andrew off. I have never driven Indy before, but I was like kind of anxious about it. But it wasn't bad. It's not as bad as Chicago, not even close. So yeah, I like picked up some breakfast, we went to the Indianapolis Zoo. I took the baby since I had the baby most of the time. But yeah, we went to the zoo, and so I'm trying to think up until noon. We did a lot actually up into that point. So Vivi and I got to the zoo. I want to say it was around like 9:30. First thing we hit was like the butterfly exhibit, and it's cool because they have like this giant like greenhouse, and it's like filled with butterflies, and they're like all over the place, just flying everywhere. So that was super cool. Vivi got to see a butterfly up close, and I took a picture of it, and I was like, oh, look how pretty it is. And she almost like snatched it, and I was like, don't kill the butterfly, please. I think these are like endangered or something, I don't know. But yeah, so we got to see the butterflies. Let's see, we checked out the penguins. Vivi was a big fan of the penguins. Like, she was giggling and laughing, and she thought they were, like, hilarious, you know, because they were just waddling around and stuff. So
I'm a fan.
yeah,
They
so
smell
she.
good.
Do they?
Yeah, penguins smell.
Oh, I didn't
Fish
know that.
and poop.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. So yeah, there was like a huge family that was there, and I had to like take her out of the stroller, and I was like, move, my baby's gonna see the penguins. So I like, you know, carried her over to the window and stuff. So then we went to, let's see, Dolphin, the dolphin show that they had. So that was cool. That was entertaining. Then we saw, let's see, we went to like a bunch of different places where the animals were at. We fed a giraffe. Yeah, so we got to, paid like $4 for like a big carrot, but then you got to feed the giraffe, which I wish I would have asked for a picture, but I was trying to be like in the moment with Vivi because I was like holding her. And she was like, what the heck is that? That thing is giant. So that was really cool. And then we went to one where they had kangaroos, literally just like free roaming. Like you go behind and they're like, so you can pet the kangaroo if they come up to you, but you have to pet them a certain way. Of course, like they didn't really come near me, but I was like, do I really want to though? Like they'll fight you.
Yeah.
So I'm not, yeah, so I'm not really, I'm like, they're really cute from a distance. I got a cool video. So Vivi thought that was really entertaining too, because she was like, oh, it's like jumping around. And let's see, so we did all that. And then we pretty much, like, I feel like we hit the zoo hard. Like, we, like, saw all of the stuff, and I want to say it was around noon. We were like, I'm like, okay, I need to eat something. So we finally ate at the zoo, and then Vivi passed out for a little bit. So
Cool.
we're pretty much up to that point.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
what did you do after that?
Well, we did the bamboo
Playthrough.
playthrough. It was a demo with Andrew, Nick, and myself. We were able to.
Diego.
Diego.
The
Yeah.
teacher was Cameron.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Cameron taught us. That was a good teach. That was a good game. One of our favorites, and it was one that we were all looking forward to playing. So that was fun. And it's in the Bitoku universe. We didn't. We played Bitoku, but this is better to me. We bought that game, and we went over to the DeVere booth and got 3 Ring Circus as well. We always loved DeVere for so much game in a box. They're in such a small box.
Yes.
So we did that, and we're still in the exhibit hall, trying to spend as much time when we weren't in demos, back in the hall, checking out games, seeing if we miss anything or games that were on our list to buy or purchase or look at. So we ended up with the Bonsai demo. And Bonsai was interesting because that was a game that you were eyeing, and I liked it. I liked the look of it, and it was nice that we could sit down and get taught by a sort of a virtual tutorial. Do you remember the name of that? You had it.
It's called Dized, I think.
Yeah.
Dized.
Yeah, that was neat. So we just sat down, and this tablet basically gave us a tutorial on how to play, and we played with 2 others.
A couple Canadian friends.
Yeah, from Quebec.
Quebec.
So that's what we were doing, and then the Dice Tower shows when we met up with Andrew. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
What was your after lunch?
So yeah, because I remember after lunch we walked the exhibit hall. That's where I got Valbara, so I was pretty excited to get that one because I know that was pretty hyped up as a really kind of like Citadels, which I had never played, but it was something I wanted to try. So I got that, and I think that's when we picked up the Wingspan, the Deluxe Tower.
Oh,
Was that the same
The
time?
I
bird
thought
house?
so.
I thought it was
because we
later.
I know we got a deluxe.
It must have been.
It was like
yeah.
$15 for a wooden magnetic
I forgot about that,
Wingspan
yeah.
dice tower, and I was like, yeah, that's
And
awesome.
we're twinning because we got the same design.
That's right. It was just, they were beautiful. So.
I didn't realize we got that day one, but yeah, maybe we did.
Yeah, I think we got most of our purchases done day one.
Yeah, because you guys came back to the Airbnb and you had like a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of knock it out as much as I could. That way I didn't have to worry about carrying a bunch of bags.
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
nice. So we walked around, looked at different things. I know because Bonsai, they only had 75 copies each day.
Yeah.
And so just kind of looking around, I was looking for, Harrow County. Didn't see it at all anywhere. Just kind of perusing everything. But then I had a demo of Kutnahora from CGE at 4 o'clock, and that one was, I feel like it was publicized everywhere. I mean, they had giant banners of it, preview it kind of thing. And it was an interesting game of building out, like you had like a bunch of different mini games kind of thing. You had the mine where you were building out your mine. You had these buildings that you were building out on another board. You were managing your reputation and different resource production that you were doing. So it was very intricate. I think I told you guys this. I think it would be something you guys would really like.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get a feel for the game because it's just like a black box with an emblem on it. But that was it. But I thought it was a pretty decent game actually. And so that was 2 hours, and I think we started a little bit late because it was at 5, not at 4. And so then, as soon as that thing was done, I was like, I gotta get to the Dice Tower show. And luckily, it was relatively close, but that's when I met up with you guys there.
By the way, that was a great show. I've seen a lot of Dice Tower shows. That was really well produced.
Yeah.
It was a very good show, entertaining.
Yeah,
Videos
the above board guys were awesome. I thought they were hilarious.
Yeah. There's some clips that even I think you would actually crack up at, like the one with Tom, and they're doing the obscure like awards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The most aerodynamic game and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that was
good skits.
Yeah,
that was pretty good. And I think the highlight of the Dice Tower show was what, Flamecraft and Dark Tower
won a lot of awards. There were a lot of repeat winners that I noticed. Yeah, repeat nominees.
The Endless Winner won 1 maybe. Because Stan won 1 for something. I think it was Endless Winner.
Yeah, but I was surprised by Flamecraft, the amount. But we played it with Tim and Alyssa. I thought the game was pretty good, but we're not in a rush to own it ourselves. But what a long day the first day was after we had spent like being up so early, and then I felt like 2 days had passed. So what happened in the afternoon for you guys?
I don't think we really did much, honestly. Yeah, let's see. We went back to the condo, and I was the first one to get there, so I was like, oh, this is so cute. Love Carmel, Indiana. It's just like such a cute little town.
Yeah.
And so I found the condo, got everything unloaded, got Vivi out and put her down for a nap. We both took a nap actually.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, and I think I kind of just like chilled. I ate Vic's lasagna, which was really good. I was the first to dig into that too. So yeah, it was pretty much my day.
I tried to advocate for a nap multiple times.
Oh yeah,
before the Dice Tower. We were so tired, my eyes felt like they were gonna pop out of my skull, and
I don't know how you guys kept going. I was like, I would be exhausted.
You know,
an unboxing of the lasagna. Look at it.
It was super good.
Thank you.
All right, moving on, day 2.
Yeah, day 2.
All right.
So we had an early start right away with an early morning. Yeah, every day was early. We got there as soon as we could with our events that we booked. So we had a demo of GenCon, which was a game that we looked at on Twitter while I was in conversation with Paul, the designer of the game. So I was glad that we could get a ticket for his demo, and it was really got to play the game. I don't think we got to end it though, unfortunately.
We didn't. We played it for like 2 hours. But
yeah.
But
it was awesome because we got hooked up with a copy of the game, and so we'll be playing that with Andrew and Sam and giving a review and producing some content for that ahead of the Kickstarter, which is in September for that one.
All right, then you had the St. Elmo's. You got that for lunch. If you want to talk about that.
Yeah, so GenCon on Facebook offered this meal deal for $18 that you get a couple of sliders that were prime rib sliders, I think it was prime rib, but they were not like burger patties, they were like pieces of meat. And they did that with some chips that were fresh made, like real chips they did, and a brownie triangle, which was pretty awesome. For $18. Now that's convention center prices. I'm not saying that was the most amazing deal, great value, but for St. Elmo, we never tried that restaurant. So I was down for that, and there's a horseradish sauce that was pretty good. So we did that. We went over, and Nick found a Georgia Street coffee place. I think it was called Georgia Street Grindhouse or
something like that.
Yeah, Georgia Street. I know that. So we did that. Got pistachio lattes, which were super good, and a nice spot to eat our beefy sliders, which I recommend. You know, it was easy. The pickup was simple, and you just went over there, and it was all in a little bag ready for you.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna cut the chase a little bit. We did a preview of, or got taught Sky Team.
Yeah.
Then we actually played Valbara, which we really liked. We couldn't buy Sky Team. It's one that was hard to get, but we will eventually. I think it's a 2-player game that we'll probably enjoy, cooperative. Valbar we really enjoyed. Andrew picked it up, as you mentioned. I'm thankful he did, because I think he'll like it as well. We played pinball. You played pinball a lot.
Yeah, I loaded up a card and played $2 games each try, and they had amazing modern pinball machines that, like a Jurassic Park one that shook up, and
cool.
different bands. Yeah, it was cool. Best ever.
Then we played Ascendancy in the Lucas Oil Stadium. So that's a game that's on Kickstarter now, and it's getting a lot of hype. It's already made over 6 figures. And then we did the AEG Big Night. That was our night, and that was a long event too. We probably didn't get back till like 1 o'clock in the morning or so.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. That's pretty late.
Yeah.
I started my day off with Pandasaurus playing Emerge. I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't do a whole lot of looking into it, but it was a nice little dice placement. Like, you're chucking dice and you're placing them on different actions, and then you're spending those dice to take those actions as you're building up islands and attracting different animals to those islands. I really liked it. I thought it was great. I didn't pick up a copy at GenCon just because I was trying to be monetarily conscious on a budget. And so, but it is one that I definitely want to pick up. I thought it was a really good game. I did see quite a few people buying it, so I don't know if they sold out or not, but it was really good. It was a relatively simple game, I thought. But really liked that one. And then after that, I had the Queen's Gambit pizza that I saw advertised with like the pickles and the mustard drizzle on it and the onions. And it was actually surprisingly pretty good. It's not one that I think I would seek to have like all the time when I order a pizza. It's not like a favorite pizza, but it was decent. And I was like, oh, this is something different and nice to try. So I really liked that. And then after that, I went and I got to have a demo of Call of Duty, which is on Kickstarter right now as well. Just because I'm not a big video game guy, but of the video games I played, Call of Duty is one that I played a lot of.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see how they could essentially turn that into a fast-paced board game. And it worked. So it was really, I just played the basic. The guy that was teaching us got to tell us a little bit about the advanced play, because you don't have like all the tactical gear when you just play the basic game and the like kill streak stuff. But it was actually really quick, really simple gameplay. I mean, a game of the basic was pretty quick. I mean, it was like we played first to 5 points. And I think that they might have cut it back just because it was a demo. I did win. I came from behind and won, so I was pretty happy about that. But I mean, it was a pretty good game. I think it's tempting because I was like, I kind of want to back it now that I've played it because I know what it's like. But I feel like I would have to get more than just the base game if I were to back it. But then I would have to convince somebody to play it with me, and I don't think I could get anybody to play it. I don't know. Just because it's like a battling, dueling kind of game. So, but they have like a little capture the flag. But it was really cool. So definitely check that one out if you're interested. I thought it played very smoothly. It wasn't clunky or anything like that. After that, I had to rush to a Unmatched tournament, which was a lot of fun. I hadn't done any tournaments or any games, so this is my first time. I wanted to see that side of GenCon, and so I got to meet Zero Skater, who he has his own YouTube channel where all he does is talk about Unmatched, and it breaks down all the decks, and they do like a match of the month and everything. Got to meet him, super nice guy. Found out his real name's John, so I was like, okay, cool. So got to meet him and connect with him and everything, and got to connect with a lot of people that were there. There was somebody all the way from Australia that had come to Gen Con, which was pretty cool. I got knocked out in the first round because I lost to Luke Cage, and I can't stand to play against Luke Cage. And of course, the person I go up against had Luke Cage, and I was like, gosh dang it. So, but it was really, really close. And they played with the new characters that they were selling at Gen Con for Brain and Brawn. But luckily, I didn't have to fight any of those. But yeah, so that was a fun experience. I enjoyed it. It was nice to get to just connect with people and play the game. I don't think anybody really took it too seriously. And then after that, I had to get dinner real quick because I had to be at the AEG Big Game Night by 6:30 because they had to get your shirt and assign you your tables. And I thought that was great. So this was my first time being a game master for AEG's Big Game Night. It was a lot of fun. They had like 860 people there. It was like 3 stories of tables as they were playing deep dive, number drop, waffle time, and shake that city. So I will mention this now that the giveaway that we talked about are going to be some of the games from Big Game Night, and that is going to be number drop, shake that city, and
Waffle time.
Waffle time. So these were all 3 of the 4. The only one that we're not going to give away for is deep dive, but definitely check that one out. These were, my group played every single one of these at least once, and they played Shake That City twice, which was really great. Had a great time. No rules issues or anything like that. I got to teach a guy that had been going to GenCon since the 1980s. His name was Robert. Really great family that I got to play with, so it was a great first time experience for me, and being able to teach and experience that whole side of things. So I had a blast being able to do that, but it was a super long night. Because then we had to stay and clean up, and I think we didn't leave till like 12:30.
Yeah. And then the drive to the Airbnb.
Right. Yeah. And we had to stop at a sketchy speedway and everything. Too.
We couldn't play. We were trying to get with Andrew's table, but it got held, which is fine. We got to split up, and we were.
I demand.
we were paired with Lisa and Winston, and then our game master, was it Brian? Was that his name?
Sounds about right.
He did great too, and we had a great group. We were laughing and joking the entire time. It made a lot of fun.
Yeah, you guys were really loud. It was disturbing my
table.
Yeah, because I had Robert, Julia, Xavier, and Noah, so I'll give them a shout out. It was really great to be able to play games and teach them. It was fun.
Right on.
All right, my Friday. Okay.
Was it as fun as ours?
I don't know. It was pretty filled. But I started my day off. I got coffee at 1832 Brew Espresso Bar in Carmel, which I highly recommend. Very good coffee. I actually got you like a frappe or something. It was that morning before you left, because you said I need something with caffeine, and so I got you that. And I actually had to work remotely on Friday, which kind of sucked, but I finished up around like 5:30. So I got ready, and I took Vivi out, and we walked around downtown Carmel and just kind of checked it out. Went to Muldoon's for dinner, and I had fish and chips, which was really good. It's like they're famous for it, so I was like, I have to get it. So I had the fish and chips, that was good. And then I got to try nitrogen ice cream. So it's really cool because they like literally make it in front of you, and it's in like a giant bowl, and they have like the nitrogen stuff that they like spray on it. And you get to pick your flavor and like your toppings and stuff. And it was cool because I had like Vivi in the stroller, and she was like trying to grab the steam. I wish I got a video of that, but yeah, it was really cute. So yeah, and then I think we went back to the condo and just kind of like chilled. I got to enjoy the condo, so I 10 out of 10.
Got the money's worth.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so day 3 then, moving to day 3, another early morning start. We were slotted in for Galactic Cruise demo that Andrew was interested in and mentioned in our GenCon anticipated games video, and the designer and you connected, right?
Yeah, TK sent us an email and then followed up with text, and we were able to sit down. TK wasn't there, but the other designer was. And so we were able to sit down and take a look at that. Kind of gave us a walkthrough of it, which I was pretty impressed by, to be honest. I thought it was pretty awesome looking.
Yeah, you get to build out ships to take commercial passengers out on cruises, trips to space, so that seemed fun. And then we had to go our separate ways because we had a Rahua. Something.
That sounds
good.
about close. Right?
We had a play of that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So we had that to play while you were playing.
It just so happened we were literally leaving Galactic Cruise to go over to the convention center. I was like, oh, I got a little bit of time. And I walked by. Andrew was setting it up, and I was like, oh, that's Fromage from R2I, or Road to Infamy Games. And I was like, oh man, I want to go give that a try. And I was like, well, it looked like they were setting up. There were a couple people sitting there. I was like, I'll go check it out. And went, and I stood around. I was like, can I just take a video? And they're like, oh, you want to play? And I was like, sure. And man, did I love this game. It was so awesome. I was like, I got an event. I was like, I only got like an hour. So I wanted to give him a heads up because I was like, I got another event at 11. And he's like, oh, it'll only take like 45 minutes or whatever. So they did like the teach. And we played it in 27 minutes, which he said was the fastest they've ever had somebody play. And it was so good. Like, it was really... I don't know if I should go into the whole gameplay of it or not, but it was, in my honesty, and we'll probably talk about this more later, but Fromage was my favorite game from the whole convention, just because it is definitely their harder, their heavier game. They're known for Canvas, Globetrotting just fulfilled. They did Get Out of There, Crypt, those kinds of games. So this is definitely a heavier game, and they're working with the designer from Search for Planet X and everything, so they got a hold of it, and it was originally, I think, like a brewing game, and then they changed it to cheese, which was cool. He was kind of talking about the whole design of it.
You were singing praises, and we went over to Rahua and played that. That was pretty fun.
Yeah,
it was
good.
Decent. Yeah,
I like that one.
That guy was a all right teacher in that room. Was that Hatchet or what is that?
They did. It was Hatchet. Yeah, technically. Yeah.
So then we played After Us, which...
he was playing it while we were playing at Ruha.
Yes.
So we actually took over the table after Andrew was done to play it as well. So that's a spoiler. That was what Andrew was doing.
Yeah.
What did you think of After Us?
I thought it was okay. The only thing I didn't like, because it was a deck builder, it was different because you had the little map kind of thing you were drawing out and connecting and completing
frames.
Squares, frames, and you were getting stuff, but when you were spending resources to get extra cards, you didn't get to see what you were buying. So it was always kind of like, well, I hope this is good.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was decent. I mean, I didn't think it was horrible. I just wish I could have. I felt like I was going into it kind of blind every turn.
It was a very solitary game. You could just play. You're on your own. Really minimal interaction with the players.
Yeah. Also, if you're a theme person, who cares?
Yeah, very pasted on. But
didn't matter.
We're not in any hurry to add that to our collection.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what I thought it was. Connecting those rectangles is pretty much what you're doing.
Yeah,
but it's gratifying in a way.
And just hoping you get cards where you can connect them. Because be like, oh, well, I don't have a left side that has an opening.
The game was fine, though, I think.
So we made our way over to the food truck area after that to get some food and found some bao buns. They had a trio with a different sample of the ones that they were offering. So we had that while we were in line for the Overgrown Pasture food truck, which Nick, what did you like there?
So we ordered two things. We ordered a Cuban, which I love Cubans, and they also had a Monte Cristo, which I love Monte Cristos. The Monte Cristo is the best one I've ever had, and I've had quite a few.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I wish I could get it over here. Overgrown Pasture was the one, what it was called, and I don't know where they're located. Hopefully,
he's gonna find them.
Yeah, you're gonna find it now. Road trip.
Yeah. That was just fantastic. The Cuban was okay compared because it just blew my mind. The Monte Cristo blew my mind.
Nothing else.
Like, what is this? Yeah.
After that, yeah. So we had that food, and we were nourished to get back into the exhibit hall where I picked up Ancient Knowledge on a whim, which we played last night for the first time, and it has a really good production and was fun. And we met up with Louis.
Yeah, Louis Bruet, Bruet Games. Keep the Heroes Out. We got the expansion that was there. He offered to give it to me, but I didn't want to take it, so I paid for it. And then we checked out Davy Jones' Locker, which was one I was really pumped about. Jamie, that's the sequel. This one's actually Kraken Wakes. That was over there in what they call the Entrepreneur Alley. There's a top right corner of the convention. I don't know why they labeled it that way, but that's what they did. And I'm showing some footage now of that because they were demoing it. The wife was demoing it, and the husband was giving you like a high-level overview. So they both had their separate roles in that booth. And yeah, that one still looks really good to me. Still reminds me of Eldritch War, like I said.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty excited to try that one. And what we got Perseverance after that.
Mm-hmm.
The dinosaur game.
Dinosaur game, very heavy, a lot going on. This is a Kickstarter with different episodes that they are launching. So we kind of got the Cole's Notes version of what had already happened in the previous episodes. It has a lot going on. It's very clunky, but it's not clunky, but it's busy. There's a lot of things happening, and so we played it. It took a long time to get through, and we didn't really get very far at all. And But I think if it was Nick and I playing, we would have enjoyed it more. We did that before we headed over to the Zhang Hao pub preview, which was not an amazing teach, but again, hey, I had never taught a game in a convention setting that I learned like 2 days before, so.
That was probably our biggest negative of the
Yeah.
con. I would say there's $16 tickets per person, so it's $32, and it says endless pub fare and drinks.
Pub snacks, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. Endless never started for me. I didn't get anything. I had one beer though.
Yeah, we got a drink voucher, and then there was popcorn machine that she was just making one bag at a time, so she had no surplus of popcorn. I tried to eat as much of it as I could get. $16 worth. I was just scarfing it. I couldn't even breathe. I was just eating. I couldn't focus on the teach. Maybe that was the problem. As I was focused on the popcorn.
How did that popcorn compare to the DeVere booth popcorn?
It was the same, I think,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Isn't it from DeVere? No, DeVere doesn't publish it. I don't know.
No.
It was, it wasn't great. And then the other snacks were gone in no time, and they never
Yeah.
replenished it. And it was just a snack mix. So weird thing, weird situation. But you know what? We met someone that was pretty nice that we played with, and the game is probably not for me, Zhang Hao. But once we understood it, it was all right.
I liked it.
It's fun.
I liked it.
Yeah.
And then last thing we did, we'll talk at the end because that was with all four of us.
Yeah. So I guess you can start with your afternoon,
Day
and
3.
then Sam
Yeah.
can give her day. Because we haven't got to Sam yet.
Right. So my afternoon, I had I was supposed to play Once Upon a Line from Lucky Duck Games, and when I showed up to play it, they said the game didn't show up, so I wasn't able to play that, which is fine because I was kind of like, I don't know if I'll like it or not. They did offer for me to play Cosmoctopus, which I think was pretty popular. I saw a lot of people. I literally ran into people who bought the game just to get the plushie for their kid. And I was like, no. I was like, I love my daughter, but she doesn't need a plushie. Octopus. So
she'll never know now.
Right, yeah. So and then we also, when we were walking the exhibit hall, that's when I won Wonderbook.
Mm-hmm.
So they had like what was the booth? It was another
There's another
YouTube
channel, yeah. Board Game Rundown, I believe.
That's
Yeah.
what it was. And so they were doing a giveaway, and we were there like 10 minutes before. I was like, oh, okay, why not? We'll do it. And just so happened to win Wonderbook. So I'm interested. I know you'll be excited to play that one.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. So I walked around the exhibit hall and everything. Checked out. I didn't like play anything that day, but I definitely I saw Beaver Creek, and I kind of just walked around and observed some demos and took some videos and stuff, just of some different stuff, different things. And then let's see the rest of the day. Oh, I had a playthrough of Wandering Towers that night as well, which was a pretty quick game. It was interesting because it was slotted for like 2 hours. We were done after like 30 minutes. Because I know I messaged you guys. I was like, all right, all done. Because I thought I was going to be there super late. But that was an interesting kind of like memory game where you're trying to get your wizards or whatever into this tower that's constantly moving around in a circle. And you're moving either your meeples or you're moving these towers. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. It was a good group of guys that I got to play with there. So, which was, yeah, it was pretty great. But it was a fast game too. So I was super surprised how quick it was. Great filler game, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so Saturday, right?
Yep.
So I started my day. I hit up a coffee shop like every day I was there in Carmel because that is like my favorite thing to do when we travel. So I got coffee at Helene Coffee Shop. Not sure how to say it, but it's like this tiny little cute coffee shop that like only one person can really be like in it inside at the time. Like the line like goes out the door because it's just little. But there's a lady that like privately, it's like her own coffee shop and stuff. So it was really good. And then I took Vivi to the Children's Museum. So we had to definitely check that out. So that was a really cool experience. Very large museum. We got to see all the dinosaur stuff, which she thought was cool. They had an Egyptian part, which I really didn't know that they had that at the Children's Museum, which I thought was super cool. So, took some cute pictures. Let's see. Saw the Minecraft exhibit, just so I could say I saw it. I was like, yeah, it's all right. But let's see. They had like a whole space of like pop culture stuff. So it was like old school, like toys, like collectibles, things like really cool stuff. Like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think. They had like ridiculous. They had like all the NSYNC like dolls from like back in the 90s, and they had like these cool lunch boxes that you haven't seen since the 90s and stuff, and like, you know, Wonder Woman doll from like the 70s, and like, so it was cool. It was like a lot of toys and like collectibles that they had on display, which was neat. And then, really the highlight and the reason I took Vivi to the museum was they have this Playscape, which is for kids under 5, and it's like got this like giant space of like, it's got like a huge water table with a waterfall and a music room, and then they have a little area for babies and toddlers, and like they're kind of just corralled in there. You just like put them in there, and they're all crawling around and playing and stuff. And Vivi absolutely loved it. Like, she was having a blast. They had like mirrors that you could look at yourself, and like little like firefly, like you flip on the light switch and you can turn on the fireflies and stuff. So she thought it was a blast. They had like a sand table, and I like leaned her, because you know she's still not big enough to like get in there herself, but I like leaned her in the sand table so she could like feel it. But then she tried to eat the sand. So I was like, okay, maybe not a good idea. But yeah, we went in the music room. She banged on some bongos. Like, it was, you know, it was fun. After the museum, let me see, what did I do? Because the condo had a jacuzzi tub, I was like, I'm getting a bath bomb, and I'm taking advantage of this because I have not been able to have a relaxing bath in probably like years. So our bath is, you know, not that big, and this was like a jacuzzi tub, so I'm like, I'm doing it. So I got my bath bomb, and then I Googled some places because I was like, I want to maybe see if there's like a cool toy store for Vivi. So I found, it's called Kit and Caboodle Toy Shop. It's in Carmel, and there's like this really cute like downtown area where it's like a giant circle, and there's just like a bunch of shops. But it was so cool because not only did they have a ton of kids toys, but they had a ton of kids games too. They had like so many Haba games, like they had all kinds of different games. I probably could have gone nuts in there buying stuff for Vivi and Eli, but I didn't. I kind of held back. I got Vivi, said you could pick out one toy, just one.
That budget,
yeah, we were really trying. And then let's see. Then I found, it just happened to be like randomly, I found the cake bake shop, and I saw how fancy it looked on the outside, and I'm like, that's that one place.
I was telling you about it.
Yeah, and I was like, didn't even like think I would run into it, and I was like, well, I gotta go in there. And so really fancy, need reservations and everything, and so I'm like,
it's like if you book, it's like an hour or a year out. Like, you can't get in for like a year.
I would love to eat there someday. I mean, but they have like the bakery that you can just walk in and you can get stuff. So I got a blueberry lemon Marie Antoinette, which was like a giant macaroon, I feel like, filled with like lemon and blueberries, and it was like super good.
Right.
And it was great.
Well, we did play, because I forgot to mention this, because I had an AEG content creator event where we were able to get a copy of Point City, and we played that that night.
All four of us, yeah.
Which was, so I know it wasn't for sale at GenCon, but we were lucky to be able to get our hands on a copy and everything. So I had backed it, and I was like, hey, let's play this, and then you guys can have a copy and everything. So, yeah, that was pretty fun too.
It was a good use of the condo because we had thought about and envisioned getting to play the games that we picked up at the con at night, but we were just so busy. Our schedule was so crazy that in terms of words of wisdom for next time, maybe not so many bookings, but it helped pass the day, so it was fun. So day 4 then, are we ready for day 4?
Ready?
Yeah.
The shortest day of the convention.
Yeah, the last final day, saddest day.
And this is when Sam joins us.
Yeah,
but so it wasn't so sad. Maybe I didn't see you there.
I come in.
No.
I know I didn't see you guys.
So we, you guys got there before we did because Andrew had an engagement.
Yeah, so at 10 o'clock was our first one, and that was the Kabuto Sumo tournament that I had. which is I'll just say probably the downer of the entire weekend, just because it was. I literally, so you get to sit down. Not everybody showed up. Everybody played a game, but you didn't get like eliminated or anything. But then when we actually got to where we were eliminating each other, I didn't even get one turn. It was just boom out, and I was like, "Great! I paid $10 for nothing."
Yeah.
But I mean, you win some and you lose some.
As they say.
So yeah, so that was interesting. That was my 10 o'clock, and then I met up with you guys at noon. So I'll let you guys talk about your morning.
Yeah, we were in an hour after you for Neotopia. So we didn't have to get in.
I'm not sure why we that was 10 for us, but you left at.
I thought he had 9.
Yeah, I thought so too. Maybe.
But in any case, we were doing Neotopia, which was an abstract type of game, very colorful. We played a 3-player game with a Chicagoland person, Jordan, I think the name was. But I can't recall.
I was gonna say Jason.
Jason might be right. Anywho, it doesn't
it's
matter.
Arcane Wonders game.
Yeah.
Didn't get a lot of buzz, but it was definitely on my radar. I mentioned it in our video, and yeah, it was a good, clean game. It wasn't complex, easy to teach, easy to play.
Yeah, that was good. And then when we met up, we were doing Empire's End, which you backed, right?
Yes. So John D. Clare game, of course, had to back it. It felt like a reverse Space Base, where instead of building something up, you were trying to prevent things from getting destroyed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if you guys wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, well, I thought it was fun. It did remind me of Space Base. I enjoyed it. I would play it again. It wasn't too difficult to pick up on. It's hard with some of the settings of getting taught some of these new games and so many games each day. But I think that if I had read the rule book, I'd probably play.
Yeah, it's good. It was a good game. I enjoyed it for sure.
And I think it was the deluxe copy too, because I know it's going to be delivering here pretty soon.
Yeah.
But I was pretty happy with the play. I want to play it again,
Yeah.
really badly.
That's how I
Actually, I was like, oh, I want to play this more. But yeah, I thought that was pretty good. We did get to walk the exhibit hall though, and that's when you talked the ear off of the Haba guy.
Yeah. So we got to meet the CEO of Haba for North America, which was pretty cool, and didn't know until after the fact, and like looked at his card, and then the guy that I had talked to next, he was like, yeah, that's the CEO, and I was like, really? So I mean, we were talking to him for a while, you know, told him that I was a children's therapist, and like expressed like how much I love Haba games and how much I love Haba games and how that started into games years old. So that was a really cool experience. And then we got to, let's see, I talked to a guy that works for Haba too. Like he was, you know, like teaching games and stuff, but he was showing me like the new ones that they had. They had one that was like something geese. I can't remember the name. It was a new one.
The Captain one looked pretty cool. It was like a legacy game for kids.
Yes, yeah. I took a picture of it. Wiggle Waggle Geese. So it's for 3 and up, and it's a new game. But it's like a get up and go type of game. Like it gets kids like moving, and they have to do jumping jacks. They have to do all this stuff. So it's a very like fun game like that. So yeah, we got to talk to them for a while, and then learned about they have the Key series of games, which is for like older kids, well anybody really, but yeah, so they got to show me that and went through like each of the games, which was
we
cool.
swung by Bark Avenue. We got to see the designers there, which was nice, and then we got to do a demo of Dixit Disney, which was good.
Yes,
and that was all before.
That was good.
That was before Empire's End, I think, too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
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 We had a quick slice of pizza, which we thought was fine for convention center. We like to score our pizza, so we didn't score it more than 7.5, I don't think.
We do score pizza.
We do score pizza. We like eating pizza and scoring it. We ran over to Old Tree afterwards. I washed our hands first.
We did a few. I saw this in a different order. So we were in the convention center too. So
The
few
exhibit
things,
hall. You're right.
Yeah, we were in. I got the Dwarf Romantic from Pegasus Spiel because that one won the Eschenspiel at the Eschenspiel won awards. And stopped by Board and Dice. Saw a friend there who has another channel, Devin, and I checked out Nucleum, the new Simone Luciani that's coming out.
Yep.
heavy game. Barcelona was there. He was teaching Books of Time, which looked really cool. It had a good look to it.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about that game. I saw he was teaching it. And then we went to Old Tree, like you said. We demoed Old Tree.
Pizza real fast, and then Old Tree demo, which was a nice cooperative game. Reminded me of Shadows over Camelot, but it's not really like that, so don't listen to me. But it was, you're trying to overcome different challenges and, plan as a team. Oh, are you going to go do that? Everyone has asymmetrical abilities, so there's people better suited to different tasks. And I thought it was fun. We won. So that was
last
cool.
turn.
Yeah, on the very last turn, the very last roll of a dice. So there was good tension and fun throughout. So we really had a good partners in gaming there too.
Yep.
No shortage of
that
fun.
was the last of the convention because it closes at 4.
Yeah.
So that was the last of it for us.
So I used the last $4 on my pinball machine credit little card you get to play some pinball before we hit the road. Yeah.
Yeah, we picked up habitats before we left as well.
We also checked out Beaver Creek. Unfortunately, they were all sold out, but I did get to see the game, which was cool. And then it was part of the 4 Fun Games publisher. They had Beaver Creek, Rumble Jungle, and Sleepy Cats. So that was cool. We got to talk to them, and they showed us how to play the different games. So yeah, those were cute little travel size games. And then before we left, we walked around and looked at some more stuff. Saw Cascadia, the expansion for that. Got to see it in the glass case.
Well, I got to see it during the AEG event up close. I got to see that. I got to see Go to Japan, and Fit to Print was there as well. But I think the big thing from that booth that I was really excited about was Undergrove. That's the new Elizabeth Hargrave game that's going to be coming to crowdfunding.
I was just about to say that. So that was kind of like the highlight of the end of GenCon for Sunday, was seeing Undergrove, because that was one that I almost put on my anticipated games list. But I also got a free Cascadia Landmarks bag, which I was super pumped about, because it's just a super sweet bag. Yeah. Just for signing up for their newsletter or whatever.
Was it the mushroom launch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a ton of mushroom games coming.
Yeah. It's a new theme.
Yeah. I thought that was my highlight. I love that bag. So,
And then hurried back because I think we were all exhausted.
Yeah. It is nice to have a convention that's only a couple of hours away from our home here in Indiana. So we're in Northwest Indiana, so it's good that we didn't have to get on a plane to get over to the convention, and I think we'll be there again.
Yeah, we'll just cover, I know this video is running really long, so we'll just cover really quick our highlights. I think you just covered your highlight.
Of GenCon is definitely that.
There you go. And then we'll go over just our general highlights, your 1 or 2 favorite things maybe.
Yeah.
I'll start and say for me, I think I'll give it 2. 1 would be AEG Game Night. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Had a great time there.
Yeah.
And then second one was just our very first event of GenCon was Bamboo. And the game was so good, and it was just nice to be there, sitting down where,
Got Andrew with us?
Yes, and we had a great game, and it was our first game. It just felt really good. I'm here, and this game really is very good.
Yeah, totally the AEG Big Game Night, the food truck experience, Monte Cristo of our lives. Amazing. And getting to play Bamboo and just the demos, meeting people who put time into games like Paul for Gempire, and getting to meet the faces behind these designs. It was good.
Yeah, AEG, of course, I'll jump on that just because that was such a great experience. Game-wise, like I said, Fromage was my favorite game from the con. I think it was awesome. But I also really liked playing Bamboo, and I liked playing Emerge. I was very surprised by Emerge.
I really liked doing the demo, too. I know I didn't get to play many games, but I loved the demo of Disney Dixon. Yeah. I really thought that was cool.
Yeah. And Sam really speaks to the experience that you can have if you are joining a partner and going to the con with a family member or a friend, and maybe you don't go to every day of the con, but you're still able to have fun and reconnect in the evenings and have your own adventures in Indianapolis.
Oh yeah, so I still had a blast all trying all the
Caramel,
different things.
too, yeah.
I mean, I had
Cullen owes you money for
Yeah.
tours.
for real.
Sponsor this video.
Yeah, I'm gonna plug. But I had a great time, even though I only went for one day. And
Yeah.
that one day, I mean, still having a baby, we were still able to do it, and you know, tried not to run people over with the stroller and be those people.
Yeah, I was like over those people that
Yeah.
bring a baby to the
But
con.
you know what? I saw lots of babies, lots of people with their babies strapped to them. I saw like a legit newborn. Like, I'm not even kidding. And I was like,
Only
you know
a
what?
few
They're
days.
doing it. Yeah, literally.
Well, this is our recap of GenCon 2023. Again, get in on that game giveaway. We have a few games that we are giving away. Shake That City, we got Waffle Time, and we got Number Drop.
Mm-hmm.
So drop your comment in the comment section and subscribe, like this video to get in on that action. And thank you so much for joining. Let us know what your great experience was from GenCon. And see ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.